Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on a very spiritual chart, divisional chart, which is called as the D60 chart or the Shashtyamsha chart. Friends, I always share the backstory for the selection of the topics for my channel. So just because at a time when I'm recording this video, moon is transiting in the Scorpio, so because of which even my own mind was very spiritual, very religious, research oriented. So I just thought, and just because like lately the videos which I have uploaded on the Rahu and Ketu, for that as well I'm getting some good response from the advanced Jyotish student and like very serious spiritual seekers. So I just thought we can have further discussion on this topic as well, because friends, when we talk about like getting yourself deeper into the karmic residue, when we talk about seeing the force behind the fortune, blessings or obstacles in the life, over there this divisional chart plays a very significant role. Like I would say that if D1 chart tells about in reality what you are experiencing right now, D9 chart, the Navamsa chart, talks about the luck prospects. So there couldn't be any fine and further subdivision of the zodiac than this D60 chart. So yes friends, we will try to look at the deeper aspect of it. And just because like when I switch to the narration part, over there I can focus more on the content rather than the presentability. So now I will shift to the narration part. Whatever your observations are, which you have seen in your own chart, in someone else's chart, in your client's chart, because I'm sure that this topic will only cater to the advanced astrology students only. So whatsoever your findings have been so far, so please write it in the comment section. Again friends, in one small video I cannot talk about how to like calculate this chart, what could be the connected gods or the devatas with this divisional chart who preside over as the deities. But one thing is for sure, I will talk about the usage of this chart, application of this chart, important pillars of this chart, how to make an observation using this chart, and most importantly some case studies as well, because again I don't just do astrology as a passion, I do it professionally. So I see that on daily basis where I see people being struck, and the reason for those obstacles and blockages cannot only be decoded from the ascendant chart or the D9 chart. You have to get deeper into it. And friends, I guess that is the only reason I always say that astrology cannot be just understood only on the basis of the calculation, because now because of the AI can do that a much better job. Let me share a very small anecdote experience with you. Like when last year when I was in India, I was at Bharati Vidya Bhavan, the bookshop, to buy book on some topic and all. So over there I saw one person, like he was looking for a book on, I guess if I'm not wrong, he was looking for a specific book where the principles are explained to decode the time of marriage or about the childbirth, something like that. And when I started talking to him, I realized that he is a very advanced student. Like not only he is in a senior government position working in India in a government job, but also he has been doing astrology. He was like, I guess, a PhD or research student. And even after putting so many years in that, he's still struggling with the core basic concept in astrology about the marriage, about the childbirth. And when I started talking to him, I saw that sense of being not very religious, being not very faith driven, but more of the flavors of that ego and pride about that I have done the advanced course, I'm very good in the calculation part. So again, this is a field which is a blend of calculation, of intuition, of kripa. Like why to go very far? Like I have seen like so many of those cases where even before opening the chart, like there was some shakun, some omen, and prediction was made. I remember like there was one more Bharati Vidya Bhavan student only. I was talking to her and she told me that a very senior astrology faculty teacher in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and one of the student, she came to sir, and she wanted to inquire and ask about the marriage of her daughter, and she has not even put forth the kundali. The teacher did not even take it. He just said, no, don't worry, it will happen in next 3 months. And everyone was shocked and surprised, and they thought that he does some tantra or some magic. But later on he told that when that lady came and she was forwarding the kundli, I saw a newlywed girl, because in India the newlywed, they wear a proper like bangles, we call it chula, they wear it. I saw someone passing behind her, and that was an omen, that was a shakun. So I mean to say, when we talk about astrology, and especially while dealing with like these spiritual divisional charts like D60 chart, while decoding Ketu, while decoding someone's past life karma, pending karmas, over there the calculation part is not enough. You need to have intuition, you need to be very faith driven, you need to be a devotee. If you will operate this field with a devotee mindset, I can assure you that you will, this knowledge will actually give you a lot more than you would have not even imagined. So yes friends, now we will shift our discussion. I have lately realized that doing the narration part is much more important, because then I don't have to worry about presentability and my like grammar, my speech. I can focus more on the narration and the topic in hand. So, and yes friends, whatever your observations are, do write that in the comment section. We all learn from each other. So let's start our discussion on the D60 chart. Some people do everything right, yet life keeps resisting them. Others make mistakes and somehow are protected. Now this is not luck, this is not coincidence, this is karma, and its most precise map lies in a chart most astrologers avoid. So today we decode D60, Shashtiamsha, the past life code hidden inside your birth chart. If you are ready for surface astrology, this video is not for you. But if you are ready to understand why your soul chose this life, you have to stay in this discussion. So now comes the question that what is D60 chart really? So in classic Jyotish, D60 is not a normal divisional chart. If for example the Navamsa shows how you mature, if the Dashamsha D10 chart shows what you do, now this Shashtiamsha or the D60 chart shows why your soul is burdened or blessed. Now D60 reveals root karmic tendencies, repeating suffering patterns, hidden grace that activates late in the life, the cause behind unexplained blocks or the miracles in the life. So Rishi Prashara considered D60 extremely sensitive. Even a small birth time error can change the entire karmic story. So this is kind of a eligibility to work on this chart, that you have to be very confident with the birth time, because we have to make the 60 division of the zodiac. That means 30 minutes each. So even the 2 minutes or 5 minutes variation in the birth time can actually change the alignments and change the assessment in this divisional chart. So the D60 chart, friends, must be read with humility and not with a prediction hungry mindset. Now why many astrologers fear this chart? So let me be very clear friends, D60 is dangerous in the wrong hands because it exposes the ego wounds. It shows the past misuse of power. It reveals the debts, not just the talents. And the ego does not like to hear that this suffering was chosen. This suffering was sown by you in the past, some other lifetime. So but I'm sure the advanced students know this thing, that without facing the cause, there will be no cure. So friends, starting our discussion step by step, so you would have understood that D60 is the finest karmic resolution lens in the Jyotish. It is powerful, but it is also the most error sensitive. Even a small birth time shift can change the entire D60. So the process must be disciplined. So the eligibility or the preconditions are: The very first is birth time accuracy. Aim for very tight rectification. Minutes matter, even the seconds matter. Anamsa and the setting. So fix one standard. I use Lahiri, so that is what I will recommend. And keep it constant across all the divisional charts. The chart type. So the D60 is read from the Rashi based division, the typical traditional Prashari approach. So don't mix the methods over here. Now, first of all, the very first step is identifying what D60 is for. So you have to use D60 to answer the root karmic tendencies, Sanchit Prarabdha flavor, why a repeating pattern exists which is beyond D1 and the D9. It also tells about the deep cause behind the fortune and the suffering, especially when things look contradictory from the D1 chart, which I will explain it to you through different case studies. So do not use D60 as a standalone event prediction chart because it is a karmic signature chart. So friends, you have to first start with the D60 Lagna and its purity, because the Lagna of any chart act as the doorway through which the soul enter this life, especially talking about from the D60 charts point of view. So that means you have to give attention to the D60 Lagna sign and the Lord, because it will, the Lagna in itself, the D60 charts Lagna sign in itself will talk about the karma field your soul is compelled to work through, and the Lord, the D60 Lagna Lord, will talk about the manager of that karma, how it plays out. And you have to first see the strength, like is the D60 chart first Lord is in the own sign exalted, friendly or debilitated? Is it conjunct or aspected by benefics or malefics? Is the Lagna Lord in the D60 chart is placed in the Dushtana Bhava in the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house in the D60. So if the Lagna Lord is heavily afflicted in the D60, the native often experiences invisible resistance even when D1 shows talent. Now friends, let me explain it to you through a basic example. So let me show you one reference chart. So you would be seeing that in your screen that let's take up the case of this chart where the ascendant. First, I will show you the D1 chart. So as you can see that the person has got Aries rising, the ascendant Lord has gone to the 8th house, Mars and Saturn are conjunct over there, the person has got that Saraswati Yoga in the 11th house, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Moon, all the benefic planets are being placed in the 11th house, and Sun is also there in the 10th house. So there are like certain flavors which talks about that the person is going to have heightened interest in the spirituality. Ascendant Lord is strong in the D1 chart, but there is one red flag as well. Moon is in the nakshatra of the Rahu. All the planets are in the axis of the Rahu and Ketu. Rahu is very tightly conjunct to the ascendant degree. Rahu is sitting in the Ketu's nakshatra, Ketu sitting in the Rahu's nakshatra. So that is what we get to know that, okay, this chart is highly karmic, where the free will is minimum and the Purv Janam Sanchit Karma is at play. The Prarabdha is at play. Now let's look at the Prarabdha of this chart. That means what is the pending things coming in from the past. So now if you will, for the same chart, if you will look at the D60 chart. Now see the approach to look at it. First of all, in the D60 chart with this calculation, the person has got the Lagna Aries in itself. So that could be a supportive sign. In the 5th house, see, once we will dive deeper into this discussion, you will get to know the importance of the Sun in this chart and the 5th house in this chart. So the person also has got the Sun being placed in the Leo in the 5th house. So that also tells about that yes, the divine intelligence and the native would have done something in the realm of the devotion sadhana. That is the kind of the prarabdha with which this person is born. The soul has taken birth with lot of the bhakti, chanting, mantra, sadhana the person has done. But at the same time, the person has also done some mistakes as well. Because in the D60 chart, the first lord is and has gone to the 6th house. So, and Saturn individually is debilitated in the 1st house, and Saturn, we know that all the punishment and the delay generally happens, all the resistance happens because of the Saturn. So you can see that yes, there is a divine protection, but the native is still like somehow forced to encounter the intermittent obstacles, troubles, delays which will be caused. So there will be problems, there will be safety, there will be divine protection, but we get to know about a glimpse of the Prarabdha through looking at from the ascendant to the D60. So that's one of the approach, friends. Once we will cover all the attributes, I'm sure you would be able to connect the dots. So now the next point is that in this approach of decoding and studying the Shashtyamsha chart, the axis, like I have explained it to you that the 5th house, 11th house axis is important, but at the same time, 1st and the 7th house axis has been given lot of the importance, because this is the axis of the self versus the relationship. So over here you have to look at the 7th lord, you have to see individually Venus in the D60 chart, because this axis will reveal the relationship karma roots, betrayal patterns, fear of intimacy, control dependency, and the late stability in the life. You have to also give attention to the 4th house and the 10th house axis in this D60 chart, because this is the axis of the inner peace versus public role. So look at the 4th house, the 4th lord, individually moon, 10th house, 10th lord, because this will reveal the karmic causes behind the career breaks, authority conflict, homeland issues, and that sort of never satisfied public success. Now friends, the most important part about just briefly knowing about what kind of the karma, the karmic role all the 9 planets play in this divisional chart. So in the D60 chart, planets behave like karmic agents. Like for example, Saturn talks about the unpaid debts, delays that mature you, consequences, duty. Rahu talks about the unresolved desire loops, obsession, distortion, taboo karma. Ketu talks about the past mastery, detachment, and the loss that liberates. Mars talks about the violence, anger karma, courage debt, protection duty. Sun talks about the ego, authority karma, mantra, devotion, Vedic knowledge, father, leadership imprint. Moon talks about the emotional inheritance, maternal line, attachment to the scripts. Mercury talks about the deception or the truth karma. It talks about the speech contracts, intellect misuse. Jupiter talks about the dharma credit, ethics, blessings via wisdom. Venus talks about the pleasure, relationship karma, sensuality, devotion versus indulgence. So technique is that for each planet write a one line karmic contract, and this planet shows what I must purify, repay or mature. So friends, all what you have to do is that for each planet, while decoding the D60 chart, this could be the Lagna Lord, this could be individually Moon, Sun, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, or whichsoever planet's dasha you are currently going through. So look at it, that is that planet in the D60 chart, especially if it is like planet like Saturn, and you are experiencing many setbacks, delays, in extreme cases imprisonment, lawsuit because of the planet Saturn. Look at the state of the Saturn in the D60 chart. This will give you a clear insight. So after that friends, now we have to also give attention to the trines in this D60 chart, just because we are studying it. See friends, I would recommend that if I have read many books written on the divisional charts, you can even read the classics as well. But when we talk about the modern day astrologers, so the one of the astrologer who is very familiar in my community of people who are regular on my platform. So the author I'm talking about is Komila Satan ma'am. So Komila Satan ma'am has written some good book on the Shodash Varga as well. So over there she has explained all the deities and the gods connected with the D60 chart, the calculation part of that. So you can watch that. But in this, I'm just giving you an insight. Once you know about the basic nitty-gritty of the chart, how to make use of it in your analysis, in your assessment. So friends, in the D60 chart, the Dharma triangle, like the 1st, 5th and the 9th, will become very important, because this will talk about the past life merit versus the misuse of the wisdom. So if it is strong, it will talk about the protection, being saved at the last moment karma. Like the way, for example, the chart as a reference example, I showed it to you in the 5th house, Sun was in the Leo, and I explained it to you that irrespective of Saturn being debilitated in the 1st house and the D60 chart's first lord being afflicted in the 6th house, but even in the 6th house, that planet Mars is conjunct with Jupiter, divine protection. In the 5th house, Sun being very strong, Sun which in itself represents the soul. So that means there will be problems, but protection and being saved at the last moment will also remain like a theme. And if the Dharma triangle is afflicted, so this will talk about the pride, fall from the grace patterns, Guru Father issues. When we talk about the Artha triangle, the 2nd, 6th and 10th in the Shashtyamsha chart, so that talks more about the money, work, duty repayment. If it is strong, you will get the wealth through service, disciplined rise. And if it is going to be afflicted, unstable income, enemies, job humiliation. If you will see prominence of the Kama triangle, like 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house, which talks about the desire, relationship, social rewards. If planets are strong here, the native will get the community support, gains, influence. And if the planets are afflicted in this Kama triangle, scandal and like social instability. Talking about the Moksha triangle, 4th house, 8th house, 12th house in the Shashtyamsha chart, so which talks more about the liberation through suffering or the transformation. If the planets are strong in these houses, so deep spiritual openings, healing capacity. And if it is afflicted, there might be concern of anxiety, chronic fear and escapism. Now friends, the next step and most important, the D60 chart is the lineage karma. It is very practical, it is very important. So D60 is excellent for the ancestry themes. Like for example, prominence of the Sun, 9th house, 10th house talks about the father line, authority lineage karma. If it is more about prominence is going more to the moon and the 4th, so mother line, emotional inheritance. Saturn generally talks about the generational burdens, duty, poverty, abandonment themes. Rahu Ketu has got more to do with the unspoken family taboos, migrations, caste, status, rupture. So look for the repetition, like same planet afflicting both luminaries or both 4th and the 9th lords. Now friends, talking about the contradiction resolver, this is very important, how you can make a comparison between the D60, like comparing it with the D1 and the D9. Because I'm sure many astrologers summarize the reading only with D1 chart and the D9 chart. Not many astrologers go till the seeing the same combinations in the D60. Now I also don't like complain over there, because I'm sure the birth timing, as long as the client is not giving a confirmation that he's confident of the birth time, so seeing the D60 is null and void then. Because only if you are confident of your birth time, then seeing and checking the D60 is of worth. So the simple comparison matrix between the D60, D1, D9 is, so for example, if D1 chart is strong, but the D60 chart is weak, that means the talent exists, but the karma will create the resistance. Result come late or after character change. If D1 is weak and D60 is strong, so that talks about the life will improve with the age, hidden protection and miracles after discipline. If the D9 chart is strong and the D60 chart is weak, so marriage, spiritual maturity is possible, but deep patterns must be purified first. And if D9 chart is weak and the D60 is strong, so the relationship karma is heavy early, but spiritual destiny will stabilize it later in the life. And also friends, like timing also plays very important role. So use the D60 chart only as a trigger confirmation. So that means timing should primarily come from the Vimshotri Dasha and the transit in the D1, D9, D10 only. You have to use D60 as like, why did this dasha feel unusually heavy or blessed? Which karmic contract got activated? So when a dasha lord is severely afflicted in the D60, that dasha tends to feel like karmic repayment, even if the D1 looks very supportive. So friends, like when we talk about the spiritual remedies, so what you can do to make peace with this chart. So that's very simple, friends, like it's not that complicated. So for like Saturn, seva, discipline vows, supporting the elderly, poor, consistent routine is required. With Rahu, it's like obviously the media detox, pleasure detox, honest confession practice, shadow work, strict ethics are very important. With Ketu, it's like just meditation, mantra, japa, simplification, charity without publicity. With Sun and Moon, so the lineage healing, water food offering, forgiveness rituals are very important. So friends, the key is that in the D60 chart, remedies work when they change the character, not just the circumstances. I feel so fortunate and lucky that last year, like after being 6 years living in Canada, surprisingly, strangely, my plan got finalized to travel to India. And just because I'm born in the New Delhi, I've never visited like ever since my birth to my hometown, to my birth terrain, my village. And somehow we got to know that there is a Gram Devata, the village gods, like some ceremony happening, and it happens once in 15 years. And we got the invitation, and I got the chance to visit there. So I mean to say, it's very important, like, you know, where if you have to honor the sun, and I guess the sun might be strong in my case, operating in the D60, that life put me in those circumstances that I got a chance to visit it. So friends, now talking about, like I promised, that we will look at some of the case studies as well. So what could be the case study? So let's say, for example, because what we have understood so far, that you cannot just judge lives. You have to understand that how karma expresses itself repeatedly across the charts. So there is a karmic signature in every astrology reading, and D60 chart helps you decode that. And even before we begin, these are pattern based composites, not the single chart. Focus is on the D60 logic, not the prediction. When we watch these kind of videos, we watch them more from the logic, to gain the logic, the point of view. And always read D60 with humility, with compassion. So just ask yourself in each of these like readings and the assessment, that what is the karmic theme which is trying to mature. So okay friends, now let's take up one case. So for example, the late bloomer case study with exceptional talent. If the chart pattern is something like this, that you will see that in the D1 chart, strong Lagna Lord, exalted planets, visible talent. So yeah, obviously D1 chart is so strong, so it's like very visible and very evident the person is going to be talented. You look at the D9 chart. So in the D9 chart, it also supports it. So well supported, promise maturity. Now when you open the D60 chart, the Lagan Lord in the 6th or in the 8th, or Saturn is conjunct with the Lagna, Lagnesh or the moon, and Jupiter is weak or the delayed. Now what do you feel? What is going to happen? Write it in the comment section. I will give you the background one more time. So in the D1 chart, the Lagna Lord is strong, planets are exalted, many Raj Yogas. And in the D9 chart, it also supports the same claim. Same planets are strengthened even in the D9 chart. But in the D60, the D60 Lagna Lord is in the Dushtana Bhava, 6th house, 8th house. Saturn is conjunct with the Lagnesh of the D60 or the moon, and the Jupiter is weak or delayed. So the life experience can work out like talent will get recognized early, but success will be delayed repeatedly. Authority figures will block the progress of this person, and native will feel, why is life harder for me? So the D60 interpretation for this is that this is a debt before reward karma. The past life authority might have been misused. You know, Saturn conjunct with the Lagna Lord of the D60, the Lagna Lord in the D60 in itself in the 6th house, 8th house. So interpretation of D60 only tells about in the past life authority might have been misused, privilege enjoyed without the responsibility, and others carried the burden. And because of which, in the present life, Saturn enforces the humility. Success will arrive only after the service mindset develop. And friends, lesson for you as a reader, and if you are acting as an astrologer for this person, so never promise early success here. Like promise eventual stability through character. So friends, let's take up another case study. So you would have understood we are focusing more on the logic. That is what you have to understand, because a lot of the times in these kind of case study videos, astrologers or the person who's presenting it, he gives his own point of view, tries to prove out a point and summarizes the discussion. But that does not suffice, especially if you are a student of the astrology. You have to understand the logic being used and the impact, the consequences of those combinations. And obviously it's very easy to present a chart of the successful celebrities. We all already know about their lives. We know that Angelina Jolie must have something in the 5th house, because she has adopted many children. So that does not make sense if I will use her chart and try to prove a point. So that is the only reason I did not take that approach. And in contradiction to that, this is something which I generally do in my workshops, where I'm teaching people about tarot and all, about astrology, core principles, that how to make the observation. So friends, let's take up another case study of the relationship. So let me give you a hypothetical planetary placement. For example, the chart pattern looks like in the D1 chart, Venus is strong, 7th Lord is favorable. Even in the Navamsa, it is mixed but manageable, workable. So far you would have been happy that okay, in the relationship front, this person is not going to have any issue because the D1 chart supports it, D9 chart verifies it. But in the D60, Rahu is in the 7th or 2nd, Moon is afflicted by Rahu or Saturn, or let's say Ketu. Ketu is also in the 1st or the 7th. So now the life experiences are going to be intense relationship, but repeated betrayal or abandonment. Partners mirror the same wound, fear of being alone but exhausted by intimacy. So now the D60 interpretation for this is attachment karma. The past life must have been filled with the flavors of emotional dependency, love chosen over dharma, boundaries dissolved, and in the present life, relationship act as mirrors. Pain repeats until self-integration occurs. So what could be the lesson? So marriage timing improves only after emotional independence, identity clarity, and detachment from the validation. Now friends, this is very important case study. I really wanted to include this about the sudden rise and sudden fall pattern. So let me give you a hypothetical planetary placements in the chart. So for example, this person in the D1 chart, in the ascendant chart, has a strong 10th house and Rahu is prominent. Okay, in the D10 chart, the Dasamsa chart, that also tells about all the favorable ambition indicators are getting fulfilled. Now, when you will open the D60 chart, Rahu is in the 10th or the 11th, let's say, Sun is weak or afflicted, and Saturn is aspecting Rahu very harshly. Like the third aspect of the Saturn is considered as very harsh. Saturn is giving the third aspect to this Rahu. And let's take up the case that Rahu is also sitting in the, for example, in the 8th house. Although we have already taken the situation in the 10th house, 11th house. So okay, now with this much information that D1 chart is strong, D10 chart, the Dasamsa verifies it, but in the D60, we have found the problem. So the life experience is going to be rapid fame or authority, scandals, false reputation damage, rebuilding again and again. And let me throw the moon nakshatra as the Punarvasu as well. So okay, so now the D60 interpretation is, this is power karma. So in the past life, authority was taken without accountability, ethics compromised for ambition, and in the present life, Rahu gives access, Saturn removes illusion, only ethical leadership survives long term. So the lesson is, Obviously, teach the restraint before expansion. Otherwise, success will become self-destruction for this person with these planetary alignments. Friends, let's take up another case. Second last, I would say that spiritually inclined but very anxious native. Like for example, let's take up the hypothetical chart combination. Like in the D1 chart, Ketu is very strong, and the 12th house has got lot of emphasis. Like planets will be exalted there, well placed over there. Like Gaj Kesari Yoga, Moon, Jupiter, Jupiter being exalted in the 12th house. So something like this. Okay, D9 chart also has got a similar spiritual indicators. But once you open the D60, Moon is in the 8th or the 12th, Rahu is afflicting the Moon, and Saturn is in the moksha houses. So the life experience with this much details, with this kind of chart pattern, is going to be drawn to the spirituality early in the life. But the person also has anxiety or the sleep disturbances, escapism tendencies, and fear without cause. Now D60 interpretation for this is unfinished renunciation karma. In the past life, spiritual pursuit without grounding, worldly duties abandoned prematurely. And in the present life, the soul remembers the void. Body and mind struggle to stabilize. And the lessons are grounding is the remedy. Routine, service, embodied spirituality, and not the escapism. And friends, the last case study, like I will give you hypothetical alignments, which I generally do with my students. So someone who can be labeled as the protected one despite mistakes. So the chart pattern could be, let me give you a hypothetical case that D1 chart is average or like slightly weak. We can say that like for example, the Scorpio Lagna, ascendant Lord in the 9th house, in a very auspicious house but debilitated, something like that. Or this could be a case that Taurus Lagna, ascendant Lord Venus, placed in its own sign Libra but in the 6th house. So average or like slightly weak. D9 chart is also decent. Now when we open the D60 chart, so in the D60, the person has strong Jupiter, benefics supporting the ascendant of the D60, and a very clean Sun-Moon axis. So that tells about the life experience that the person will make errors but still will get saved. Help will appear unexpectedly and life somehow works out. Like people who always say, no matter what happens, something appears, something happens, and it always works out at the end. So the D60 interpretation is that this is accumulated punya, accumulated good merit. The past life has been about ethical living, teaching, guidance, protection of others. D60. Present life is about the grace cushions impact. Karma repays quietly. And the lesson is never underestimate invisible blessings. D60 reveals why some people are carried through storms. So friends, the common mistake which students make with the D60 is treating D60 as fatalistic, using D60 to scare the clients, or ignoring the birth time sensitivity, or reading D60 without D1, D9 context. So always remember, D60 explains why, not what will happen tomorrow. It explains why it is happening. Just the why, not what, not when. So a true astrologer will soften the blame, because obviously you are talking about the past life, right? To guide the discipline, to time the humility, not ego, and to prescribe the character remedies. D60 matures the astrologer first before the client. So see, I always say that every D60 chart says only one thing: you are not random. Pain has memory, grace has memory. And when you understand D60, victimhood dissolves, responsibility rises, and the liberation begins quietly. So okay friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.